May these few words that I speak be grounded in my soul, encouraged by the God presence in me. And may these words that you hear be captured by your soul, enlivened by the God presence in you. Amen. The actual historical facts about the birth of Jesus are completely unknown. The reality is that Jesus of Nazareth wasn't even a blip on the Mediterranean radar or on the Roman Empire radar until the last 1 or 2 or maybe 3 years of his life. The story we know, this story, is a mystical and wondrous tale created by the writer of the Gospel of Luke nearly 100 years after Jesus' death. And it was written not to capture his actual birth, but rather to try and bring meaning to the amazing life he lived and the tremendous impact he made on those who knew him. That was the point of the story. This poor peasant Jesus, living in a time of religious and political oppression, was so filled with the presence of God that he radiated love. He radiated love, and he lived with absolute compassion. His way of being and his way of living literally transformed lives, bringing a new way of seeing the world and a new way of embracing the Spirit in their hearts and in their midst. It is that gift of love that Jesus so fully embraced that would cause Luke to write this wondrous tale of angels and shepherds, of stars and stables, and of a newborn child. The gift experienced in Jesus by his followers is the same gift that we continue to experience in our lives when we open to the power of love. And I'm not talking merely of that sentimental Hallmark kind of love. I'm talking about a deep, abiding love and compassion that is rooted in our souls. Call it what you will. Call it the God Spirit. Call it the Spirit of the universe at work. Call it the Spirit of life. Call it the human spirit. It really doesn't matter how you name it, any more than it matters where or how Jesus was actually born. What matters is that we open our hearts and our minds and lean into that Spirit, bringing love into our own lives, bringing love into each and every one of our relationships, and bringing compassion into a world that is hurting and fragile. This Spirit, this love is at the heart of what it is to be fully human. It is this Spirit, this understanding of love as the very ground of being that is foundational to every single religion. And religious institutions, including Christianity, are in serious decline. We only have to look at this. There was a time not that many years ago when we would be putting chairs in the aisles to get everybody in. Church has become so irrelevant in so many ways. And I believe it is because we have lost sight of our central truth, the Spirit of love. There is too much focus in every religion on maintaining the institutions. There's too much focus on proving that one is right and the others are wrong. And not nearly enough focus on the God presence that is there in our lives and in our world. Luke's story, this story was then and continues to be a story to call us back to the presence of the Spirit, the gift of love. Every element of the Christmas story is intended to be larger-than-life symbols of God's reign on this earth. Mary and Joseph, simple peasants, symbolize the spirit that is birthed in all of humanity, not just in the wealthy and privileged and educated. The stable and manger become symbol of the Spirit's presence in the poorest places in the world, and not just in the temples and churches and synagogues and palaces and places of government. The shepherds were among the most marginalized people in that Mediterranean world. And the fact that the shepherds are the first to witness this event tells us that in the spirit of love, everyone is included. Nobody is left out. And the star that stops in its tracks tells us that over all the world, over all things, the God Spirit reigns, not Caesar. And angels, all those angels singing with joyful abandon, tell us that the whole earth, in fact the whole universe, the whole cosmos, is filled with the presence and the Spirit of God. Jesus becomes king then and becomes king now because he lived into the fullness of his humanity and calls us not to adore him, as our opening carol suggested, but rather to live like him, to be like him, bringing life and love to all the world. May the love and the light of Jesus live as gift in each of you this Christmas. Amen.